Okay, hi guys. Uh, I hope you guys like the new background. I drew it while I was sick, and it's sleepover themed because I honestly I just wanted something to like a little segment or something, or just a background where I can where I can justify just ranting. So I was thinking like maybe this could be like a sleepover theme where it feels intimate, because like you know how there's this whole like thing where in sleepovers that's when people just talk about deep stuff. I thought about doing that because I just want like an excuse to just rant. So this whole like thing that I drew while I was sick, it's sleepover themed. It's like we're under the sheets or so. So like this is the bed with like pillows and stuff. These are like fairy lights up here. This is my big laptop. I'm honestly thinking of just getting rid of it because honestly I don't know what I'm gonna show here. I was thinking maybe I would show like TikTok clips that I've watched over the week, but I don't know how. Honestly, I'll think about it, but it's there for now. So yeah, I hope this feels a little bit intimate, and honestly, this is what I want, sort of, because with my how I talk is that I use a lot of hands and stuff, so I can't really do this while playing games. And the thing with me playing games is that I just want something visually stimulating for you guys to watch. But sometimes, honestly, I realize that I'm really bad at talking while playing at the same time because um tangents. I get into tangents a lot. And anyways, I will say this. You will notice that my mouth doesn't move as much because I think honestly a few things. I think it's because I talk too fast and the thing just doesn't really it doesn't really follow along as quickly, but I think you get the gist enough with my hand movements and stuff. So yeah. Sorry. Okay. um I've tested it out with like sorry, just gonna try and get the hands back. So I've tested it out, me like my expressions and all that. Honestly, if I just don't smile, it'll still think I'm smiling. So I can't like I can't win. In terms of my setup, I don't have an iPhone, so this is just just a camera, a webcam, trying to gauge my like face and my expressions. So it's okay. I hope you guys can forgive that. I also know that once this sort of like I finish recording it, I know for a fact that it's a little bit blurry. Like the lines aren't crisp, but I hope that's okay. Anyways, yeah, so this is the little setup that I have. I hope you guys like it. So, what am I gonna talk about? Honestly, I keep thinking of lots of things over the weeks, and aside from that, I also just want to have an excuse to talk because sometimes, for like weeks on end, I only talk for like, uh, a few hours at most. So I'm gonna try and change that. Um, that's why I say and like and like a lot. I just need to practice because honestly, whatever. So I recently watched this like the dog documentary. Like I watched the what's it called? I watched the cats documentary a while back and it was so cute. And I watched the dog documentary, and honestly, you know what? Just slight tangent. I I thought I was a cat girly, honestly. Although to be fair, I've only had like a few cat pets in my life back in the Philippines. Um, but I, especially like playing Pokemon, I realized that I'm a dog girly. Especially like since my favorite Pokemon is like Riolu and Lucario. It's like it's pretty obvious that I love dogs. What else is a dog Pokemon? I love like the Fido line. I love gosh, what was his name? Snubble. I love. Some people say Zoro is a fox. Some people say he's a dog. So I'm just gonna say Zoro as well. Sorry, I'm sick. I just came out of a sick episode, so I hope you forgive me. Um, I also love like I don't know, are the is the evolution line? I know it's like a hybrid of cats and foxes, maybe rabbits, but I love the EV line. I don't know. I just can't think of like cat Pokemon that I really love. I know I love Skitty at one point in my life because it's very cute. It's Delcatty and all that. Um, but no, I don't know. It's just like the Meowth line and all that. The Persian line. I never really got into it all that much, especially like the regional forms. It's like, oh no, thank you. But I love Arcanine. I love the Legends Arcanine. Oh my gosh, the new Legends game. I'm so excited. Anyway, sorry. We're getting way too sidetracked from dogs. But yeah, I watched the dog documentary, and one of the things that really stuck out to me, um, specifically watching it, honestly, it was the first episode, and it really just stuck out to me. It was them saying that the opposite of survival of the fittest was friendliness or like just being social in general, and that's how it like dogs, specific dog breeds just um like lived, like they were domesticated by us, and it's mostly because of like this partnership where human scraps are like given to dogs, and that's why wolves just stuck around us. And I honestly think that that is such like, to me, I never really thought about it like that way. Like it's so obvious because humans, we're very social creatures. Like we are the kind of creatures that won't give up on our elders, and like we mourn death in a way, like obviously like intelligent creatures do that as well, but humans especially don't give up on people who are sick, people who are, you know disadvantaged. Like there has been historical records where we do take care of our like our neighbors who are in need and stuff like that. And honestly, yeah, because the survival of the fittest, it's such a like limiting way of thinking. Whereas if you think about it, we have been like humans are in the top of the food chain because of friendliness, because of being social and all that, and we all help each other and stuff. And it's very different because you know how like survival of the fittest is so eugenicsy. It's you know it's not good, and lots of like shows like inadvertently promote it. Honestly, hey, I feel like I've like, especially growing up, I've sort of had the same like thought, like, oh, obviously, um certain traits are like powerful, or like certain behaviors are like, there's a reason why people are still alive, and it's because of certain ways of thinking, um like for example fear. People who are usually more afraid will are more likely to like live on compared to people who are more risk takers, because obviously it's a risk and all that. But so there's that kind of thinking, because it's logical and stuff. But you also think about like dogs and humans, and the entire reason why we even love having pets in general is because we love taking care of others, taking care of something that isn't ourselves. And I think that's so beautiful, compared to just thinking about like, oh, if you aren't this kind of person, if you aren't like this, then you know you're more likely to die in terms of like the natural process and stuff. Sorry. But no, we're all social creatures. We love helping others, we love being selfless, and that's why it's like, you know it's you've seen, like, if you go on like Instagram, I guess, not to like not to like just say, oh, all Instagrammers or stuff like that, but most comment sections nowadays, they're very like judgy, I guess. I mean, obviously you can always say like, oh, it's the internet, oh, it's, you're like, you're putting yourself out there, which means you're putting yourself up, or like you're being open to like criticism, and like just straight up like other people's opinions and stuff, which that's valid, but at the same time it's like there's an etiquette that is being ignored because of that line of thinking. Like, it's like, have people forgotten like their manners? And honestly, you could say like, oh, it's like Gen Alpha, or like in general, but honestly, it's all generations. Like, there's like, boomers who probably like need to pull back on their thinking, and then there's also young people who don't realize that they have a digital footprint, or there's also people who just don't care and will just spew out their opinions. Like, there's this whole thing right now where new people in fandoms, or like people who are new to fandoms, are like getting angry over headcanons. Like, that's not canon, that's not, like, they're not actually together. Like, yeah, that's the fun of fandoms, where it's like you're creating your own story with these characters who have existed, sort of. But yeah, obviously it's like, it's new people, people who are new to certain spaces and stuff. But I don't know. I just think that at the end of the day, I think it's better to just think about others. I mean, I'm not saying something groundbreaking, like, obviously. This is like, this is a normal opinion. At least I hope it is. um, okay, sorry. I went to eat, and I lost my thoughts. So I remember it was like something about the Olympics. Also, if the audio is changed, it's because I sort of like changed it after I came back from eating dinner. But yeah, so, well, I completely lost my train of thought. So let me just make a new one up right away. So we were talking about like social, being social and being friendly, right? And, well, the thing with like the internet is that it's an open forum, and people can share their opinions and stuff like that, and they can just go wham, like you're anonymous. You don't really need to have sort of etiquette around. Sorry, I was fixing up my sleeve and stuff. Yes, I do have a sleeve. Yeah, but that's the thing, you put yourself out there, and to me, here's the thing. I am very much a lurker, which is funny because I'm making a video right now and making my own content and stuff. But in terms of like a consumer, I consume and I don't really like engage with comments and theories and stuff like that because I enjoy things at least like for a while, at least like starting from like after high school, maybe even nearing the end of high school, I sort of just started enjoying media for the sake of my own like enjoyment. Because there were just times back in like 2016, 2018 where it was not fun because of the fact that I just kept engaging with content that was so negative all the time. Like, I think the moment that I stopped sort of engaging with these like negativity in terms of like watching the things that I loved is I think I actually don't know when, but I will say this. I never had a problem with like women being, like the star of the show or I like people when they watched Captain Marvel, they sort of just went on about how she was so like expressionless and stoic and all that. And then, you watch like really old um what's it called? Indiana, what was his name? Oh my god, what was his name? Sorry, I'm having a mental block. Indiana Jones, just guy movies, like the old movies. They're all stoic. They don't have personalities, you guys. Like they're just, you know, oh look at me, I'm a masculine man and I get the women and I it's boring. Like I rewatched it, it's boring. And look, Captain Marvel the movie, honestly, it's fine. Like the worst it could be was that it was boring. And it's fine. You know, it's a Marvel movie and honestly it sort of jump started the whole Marvel movies being kids movies thing with like the cat. But even then it's fine. And God, I know it wasn't Captain Marvel that sort of made me stop engaging with these. I think it was something else, but I can't remember. But the point is that I I just stopped engaging with these discussions, especially when it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel constructive anymore. Like, like can we just talk about the fact that people will literally go nuts over seeing like people of character in movies, but if you watch like the anime that they watch, it's so like problematic. It has like incest and shit. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna talk about these issues, then talk about everything. Or like it's so obvious that like you're only worried about specific issues that are like a problem to you and not actual like issues, you know? It's just when I was engaging with my like the specific fandom, I'm not gonna tell you what my friends know what it is, but the point is that I was that kind of person back then, and what was it? I think I was like a Debbie Downer, where it's like, oh my god, shut up, if it's something that like I hate, like a character pairing which I didn't like, or like people just talking about the most talked about thing at that time and you're like, oh my god, I've seen 10 posts just like this, please stop. But then it's people just enjoying things they like, and honestly, if I could tell myself something, it's just you need to calm down. You need to relax because people are just enjoying what they're enjoying. And honestly, back then, it's like I'm taking everything to heart in the most negative way possible. But now it's like, chill, just enjoy it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And that's growth, you know. But that's the thing. I feel like people just need to just relax, you know? Like not everything has to be so negative all the time. And now what's the point in all this? I think it's the fact that you can be critical of something. You can criticize things, but sometimes some issues are just way too much. Like obviously it differs from people to people, and people like me back then, they will take it to heart. Like for example, let's say Pokemon, right? I this is really funny actually. When the fifth generation, I think it was black and white, when it came out and they redid the whole like national decks, I, like younger me, was pissed off. Like it's crazy, but like them just redoing like Pokemon, like to me that was crazy. That was insane of them to do. And I remember like I played the game. Okay, I did. Like I lost the cartridge and everything, but I played the game, I promise. And I chose Snivy. Honestly, I love Snivy. I'm not gonna get into the tangent, but I'm just gonna say this. When I like when I like the Pokemon that I met, I guess in the game, they were like completely alien to me, and I'm like back then it was sort of just, it felt different. And maybe it was just the nostalgia and stuff, but it just felt different, and I couldn't really grasp it at the time. I mean, I still played through it, and honestly, I freaking love it. Like looking back, I love Gen 5, even though like I got like probably one of the most like the weakest starter. I'm sorry, I love Snivy, but like I wish she could have at least been Dragon Grass, you know? But anyways, the point is that I like when I played it, it was different, and I was like, "Oh my god, no, please, this is different. I don't like it." But looking back, I still enjoyed it and stuff, and it's nostalgia for me and all that. But the point is that sometimes I just need to relax. Because like I played like black and white, and then X and Y, and I remember thinking back then, it's like, man, they're really changing everything. First, it's black and white, which is like completely different to like the color combinations that they were doing before, which is like, gold and silver, platinum, green, emerald, red, blah blah blah. And then they just went with black and white, and I'm like, okay. And then they went with X and Y, and I'm like, okay, that's literally letters. Like, what's happening here? But then, Sun and Moon came out. Honestly, that was like the most different one of all of them, but I'm like, hell yeah, this is really cool. I'm like loving it. And I have no idea why. I swear it's not because of Rowlet. Like, I chose Poplio as my partner Pokemon in Sun and Moon, and I love her so much. But so, like, that's not the point. The point was is that I don't know why, but Sun and Moon just sort of reminded me that, you know, it's fine to it like I just need to enjoy it, and I did. Black and White Black and White was crazy. Especially Black and White 2. Uh cuz that one was with N, right? Like the whole series was with N, so playing through it was so like crazy. But like looking back, it was so enjoyable and I loved it so much. And I think it was because it was different that I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, it's like, man, I need to just relax and enjoy it. There are things like if I don't enjoy it, then I know, you know. And once I realize that I'm not enjoying it, I just avoid it. That's it. Like from the top of my head, I loved Stranger Things, but then after season 3, I think I didn't want to engage with that anymore because I don't know. Season 3 was just kind of like, uh, no thank you. No thank you. I'm done with it. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm done with it. And that's about it. I haven't watched any new seasons yet. I don't know what's happening. There's this new one, and this is. I do feel bad about this. I haven't watched any Has Been Hotel videos. I've watched the pilot, and I'm like, I love it, but this isn't for me. Like, that's the kind of person I am now, and I do feel bad because, like, for example, Spike's Family. Like, I want to watch it. I want to get into it, but there's just for some reason I don't want to, and and I do think that it's because of like how certain people are engaging with it, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I avoid it. Aside from like the fact that I have OCs that are also named Forger, and crazy. Anyways, um, right. What were we talking about? Um, so yeah, I engage with like media so differently now compared to how I did when I was younger. Um, like when Scarlet and Violet came out, I was so excited for it. Like, I just needed money, so that's why I didn't like play it as soon as it came out. I just needed money and a reason to play it. And I have to admit, I did hear lots of negativity, and that's sort of what made me not buy it as well because it's $90, and if people are saying they don't like it, then ugh, you know, no. So I bought it when it was on sale, and it was really fun. I think I think when I realized that I was having fun and I wasn't actually encountering, I mean, no, I was encountering a few bugs here and there, but none of them are like game breaking to me. And when I realized that I was having fun, when I realized that I had like this connection to like the characters now, then I realized like, oh, okay, younger me at least was wrong in terms of like her old mindset because this is just at least you've tried it out. I guess you gave it a chance, and yeah, I actually enjoyed it. And like the point is to not force yourself to like something, and don't force yourself to engage with it if it's like if your mental health is gonna be whack because of it, you know, to the detriment of your mental health, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, so, aside from like me engaging sort of passively with the media that I love to consume, I also like really admire people who, despite everything I've said to people who would make very like sort of negative discussions regarding specific media, I still do admire them because, like I said, they are putting themselves out there, and whether they create like regardless of the audience that they make from their own like opinions and stuff, it's still admirable because coming from like as a lurker, this kind of thing is just like you're putting yourself out there, and to me that's just great, honestly. Like artists and stuff, like That's why, when people say like AI, it allows people to just not gatekeep art. Gatekeep art, like nobody's stopping you from picking up a pen and paper. Like to me, I drew all of this digitally, and that's the thing with me is that I actually practice more in digital art than traditional art. And the way I draw traditionally is so different from digital art. Like I could never do this traditionally. I can however draw this digitally because I'm just more used to it for some reason. And yeah, going back to the topic, I admire people who just create for the sake of creating, and which is why like I understand why people like AI. It's the idea that you've created something, you know? Like it's instant gratification. That's basically what the prompts are. That's basically what AI does for you. It's just it gives you the thing without you working for it. But here's the thing, someone who drew this, like regardless of what you think about it, I made it and I love it. Like, there's lots of things that I could probably do better with this. Like, these are supposed to be blankets on blankets. Like, the lights aren't obvious, like, they're obviously not fairy lights. This plushy thing doesn't look as plushy as I would like. The laptop is way too big. At least I think it is. I mean, like, does this look realistic? I mean, I'd say so. I'd say so. But I made this with all its imperfections, with all its perfections, whatever that would mean. I think it's great and I love it. This model here, made by Lexer, like, I absolutely love it, and that's me commissioning them to make it for me. And I don't know if they love it, but I love it. I'm very happy with it. So, and this OC, this design in general, like, I made it. I love it. It's great. It's really, really great. And, like, obviously, I have a few friends who've also made videos. I love watching it. I am so proud of them. You know who you are, you guys. Um, and I love it. I love watching people create, and it's so obviously so different if you are someone who creates versus someone who consumes, because it is very different. Like personally, I still fear me putting myself out there. I want to create specific videos actually, but it's the thought that you are putting something. I admire people who create because it is very different from it is it is very different from consuming media, because there's something like intimidating about just sharing your things versus just admiring other people's things. And yeah, I'm not gonna go into AI because I feel like that's a whole other video, and my stance is that I am against it, especially in like creative mediums. At least, like, if you are going to invade, like, say, the art community, God, can you at least be respectful about it? But obviously they're not, so I'm against it for now. Um, I'd say better legislations, and then I'll think about it. But there's just so many things wrong with AI being in art and in academic spaces. Like, something needs to happen, I think. But anyways, this isn't about AI. So creating, right? So like, I've made this like OC, sorry. I made this OC, I made her design, and I love her, right? And that's just something you can't replicate with AI. I I can't imagine. You look at like 5 years ago, I would definitely want some sort of tool that can maybe help me visualize things. Because here's the thing, I I can imagine things, but they're not. They're just so blobby. Have you heard of aphastasia, aphantasia, or something like that? It's how visual your imagination is, like how vivid it is. And so if you have I think it's like from 0 to 5 aphantasia, frick. Whatever, it's like a scale, 0 being you can't see anything, to 5 being like you can visualize an apple, see how red it is, feel it, maybe even taste it and stuff. Some people can't see anything, they just see black. They don't even realize that when people say imagine this, they don't actually know that it's literal, you know? Like when people say imagine a cow, they don't actually see a cow. And that's their world. For me, I'd say I'm like a 3 or a 4. Like, it's very weird. Sometimes it's vivid, sometimes it's not. But it definitely gets vivid whenever I actually draw a character. Like, let's say this character. Let's say Hybe, right? Like, before I drew her, I could probably never really see her. Like, I don't know what I want. But then once I put ideas into a page, guys, oh my god, I'm so sorry about my parents. Oh my god, it's paper thin walls. Anyways, but as soon as I start putting shapes into a page, I start putting what ifs, and I start brainstorming what I want, what colors, what skin color, what design sort of I have for her, the outfit and stuff. Like, once all of that gets put into a page, also these are um wings and stuff. This is like a crown. Once I actually put all of those things into paper, and I see the vision coming to life, now that's something AI will never replace, because like it's your own thoughts sort of forming into a very distinct piece. It's crazy. Look, oops, sorry. I I don't expect everyone to be someone who creates things, but I think you just need to understand that it's very different. And anyone can say, "Oh hell yeah, I can do that myself." Like, yes, you can do it. Why not? And and if they do it, then you made something. You should be proud of it. There is this thing recently where it's do you want your passion, your creation, to be your job? And to some people, that would be a dream come true. But to others, it would be a nightmare. Like for me, personally, I love writing, I love reading, but I never chose an English major or a writing related major, because I know for a fact I would have hated it. And that's just a personal preference, by the way. I'm just saying, I feel like I would have hated it if I was forced to just analyze something that I like versus me doing it willingly. Um, yeah. Oh my god, I hope you guys don't mind any voices in this video, and I hope you don't mind any the audio problems, because I'm so bad with audio. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. um, but yeah, like this isn't perfect. This whole setup isn't perfect. Like I watched like clips of this whole segment so far, and like my model is really like blurry, like pixely, and I don't know why, but there's like it's practice makes perfect. I just hope you guys are okay with it, and yeah, um, I hope you guys like this whole setup. I personally do. Um, I have more thoughts on the way. um, but yeah, I for now I'll end it with this note. A TLDR, we're a very social, we're a very friendly race. Species, I guess. So don't think that being positive is naive. Don't think that being overly hopeful is naive. This is just part of who we are. Give me a second. I am so sorry. Yeah, okay. If I want to get rid of the sounds of my parents, it's gonna have to be this weird audio suppression thing. I am so sorry. But since this is a sleepover theme, I don't know how to actually end this. Maybe, hey, we should go to bed now, and we'll talk in the morning. Thank you for being up late. I don't know. Anyways, thank you. Bye bye.